Welcome. I'm Donna Lamb. I'm the director of the Schweinfurth Art Center, and along with my partner in crime, Kirsten Gash, director of the Cayuga Museum of History and Art, our board of directors, we welcome you to this unveiling of the new West End Arts Campus. 8 years in planning and almost a year of construction. We have been looking forward to this day for a long time. It's a big day for our organizations, but also for the community. This project is a perfect example of what can come from having a plan ready to go when the opportunity presents itself. The Art Center completed a building plan right about the same time the city was involved in applying for DRI funding. Long story short, when City Councilor Jimmy Genatino encouraged the historic and cultural sites to consider submitting projects for DRI funding, we had one ready to go, or almost ready to go. The Cayuga Museum was game for pursuing it as a joint project. We realized we could both achieve long-term goals for the improvements to our sites by working together. And so the West End Arts Campus was born. A project like this couldn't have happened without substantial government support. Our primary funding came from Auburn's Downtown Revitalization Initiative, a program of the New York State Housing Trust Fund Corporation. I'd like to recognize Tracy DeGenova from the governor's office. Is Tracy? There she is. Hi, Tracy. And we'd like to welcome State Senator Rachel May. Would you like to speak?
Thank you, and thanks for everyone who's here and everyone who has supported this project. I've got to say, I've been coming to the Schweinfurth for years and years, well before I was elected to office, because I love fiber arts, and this is a real treasure, I think, a national treasure hidden here in Auburn. But the fact that there's another really remarkable museum right next door and all of this history embedded in this little corner of the city, it just makes perfect sense to turn it into a single campus, integrate the experience that people have when they come here and really elevate this whole corner of town to the height that it deserves. Because if you're not a devotee of these institutions, you should be. They are both doing amazing work. And I had the pleasure of bringing my brother-in-law, who is a Hollywood sound engineer, to come tour the Case Research Lab last year, and he was completely blown away by it. So the treasures in this little corner of the city are quite remarkable, and I congratulate you on having the plan ready and really the vision and the resources to make it. Glad that we were able as a state to provide the resources to make it possible.
We are so very grateful for the state's investment in our project, but we also are very thankful for the city's role as well. I want to thank former Mayor Mike Quill for his leadership during the DRI process, and to the many people in the city who were involved in administering the DRI project, and also the funding through the American Rescue Program. For that funding as well. And representing the city, we have with us today Councilor Jimmy Kent and Mayor Jimmy Genatino. There he is. I'd like to welcome him to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Donna. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to say a few words today. This is a great day for Auburn as a community, and it's certainly a great day for these two institutions. that are true jewels of this community that we are so fortunate to have. We often talk about the downtown renaissance here in Auburn, and it really has been a remarkable transition. I moved back here in 1998, and the old joke goes that there were tumbleweeds blowing through downtown Auburn. I don't know if that's literal, but there was a lot of plywood on windows and a lot of empty storefronts, and a lot of things have changed in a short amount of time. And, I always say that the catalyst for that was one thing, and that was Auburn Public Theater. And we have some representatives here today. They took a chance on Auburn, and Auburn has embraced them. And they started that renaissance. And then a lot of people invested a lot of money and sweat equity into small businesses, from restaurants to breweries to retail. And they kind of filled that gap. And then we had an opportunity back in 2018 with the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, and to carry that renaissance forward. And I think it's only fitting that today we're cutting a ribbon on another, or two arts institutions that have really, in theory, joined as one, to kind of bring the next chapter of that renaissance. As I mentioned, in 2018, we had the opportunity for the DRI. It was a unique opportunity for us to secure $10 million in public money, to leverage that with millions more in private investment. And one thing my colleagues and I at the time said was there was a place for the historical and cultural sites in the DRI. And, it was really amazing to me because the public agreed, and they reinforced that. And thankfully, the state agreed with us, and we were able to deliver that money. $2.25 million in DRI funding was dedicated to this project, millions more in private funding. And then a little thing called COVID happened. And that slowed everything down, and it escalated the price of everything, just like with every other project. And thankfully, former President Joe Biden and the 117th Congress delivered the American Rescue Plan. And Auburn, like cities across the country, were awarded millions in funding. And again, we were able to allocate $1.25 million to historical and cultural sites, $500,000 for these two. I mention all this because I think it's really important to highlight it, and it's a clear example of how public and private investment combined can make really good things happen. And I think it's a commitment to these two institutions. It says that art matters, it says that history matters, it says what you do matters. And I want to be clear about that. That matters in this community, and we appreciate the two executive directors, their staffs, their boards. Thank you for all that you've done. And Donna, this is a nice capstone for your career. I know that you're retiring soon, and I want to thank you for everything you've done for this community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, in addition to our public funding, we would not be here today without the support of our local foundations. The Schweinfurth and the Cayuga Museum are extremely lucky to be in this community where we have such generous foundations. They all have a long history of supporting both of our organizations, and I'd like to recognize these folks today. I want to welcome and thank Dan Fessenden from the Fred L. Emerson Foundation for being our guest. I want to welcome Amy Allen from the Allen Family Foundation. John Latinician, representing not one, not two, but three organizations, the D.E. French Foundation, the Stanley W. Metcalf Foundation, and the Columbian Foundations. Thank you, John. Sheila Osborne is here representing the Osborne Memorial Association. Thank you, Sheila. We also thank the John Ben Snow Memorial Trust and the Cayuga Community Fund for their support. So we are in addition to the foundations, we have, both of our organizations have many generous individuals and businesses that helped us reach our campaign goals. And the Schweinfurth would like to thank in particular Mary Spurrier and a special anonymous donor for their major gifts for this project. Thank you. And before I turn the mic over to Kirsten, I'd like to give a shout out to a few other people. Thank you, Janie Hutchinson, for chairing our campaign committee. And I have to recognize George Kerstetter, who was on the Schweinfurth original board of directors. He served both the Schweinfurth and the Cayuga Museum on our board at various times. Thank you. And many thanks to our staff, board, and members for years of planning and dreaming and dealing with the disruption of construction. Last but not least, I'd like to thank Kirsten along with the staff and board of the Cayuga Museum. We couldn't have had better partners throughout this process. So I'm going to turn it over to Kirsten.
The West End Arts Campus is a project about partnership and has required tremendous teamwork through the many years it took to get here, working with architects, contractors, funders, boards, and staff. This was also a complex project, and I would like to thank Donna and everyone at the Schweinfurth for our shared vision and camaraderie. And I know that the foundation we laid together will only strengthen our partnership and the ability to serve our community. In addition to the foundations that Donna just mentioned, I would also like to thank the Robert and Tony Bader Foundation and the Guido and Ellen Palma Foundation. We thank Richard Osgood from Barrow Architecture and Steve Breitska from Environmental Design and Research. We also have some more of the EDR team here today. Thank you. Sarah Hayes of Hayes Strategy, Christina Selbeck, the City of Auburn's Director of Capital Improvement Program and Grants, and the team from Richard Gardner Construction, including Joe Donegan and Dave Potter, for making our vision for the West End Arts Campus a reality. So as we gather for this momentous occasion, we would like to acknowledge that there was a tragic incident on the construction site November 1st, 2024, where a gentleman lost his life. Please help us to honor him with a moment of silent reflection or prayer. Thank you. So as we move forward, we consider the impact the work we have done will have on future generations, providing greater access to arts and culture. Join us at the West End Arts Campus, the western gateway to downtown Auburn, New York. It is a destination for cultural tourists and a center for the community to gather for art and history exhibits, music, film, theater, lectures, poetry, folk arts, and art making. It is a place for relaxing under the ginkgo tree, sipping coffee with friends at an outdoor cafe table, throwing a pot in the Art Center Play Studio, or experiencing the birthplace of sound film and case research laboratory. It is a hub of creative activity in Auburn's West End.
Yeah, we have ceremonial scissors. So we ask the board to stand with us. Oh, I love this. Okay.
I'm on the wrong side.
We didn't rehearse. Okay.
So we each take a side.
All right. Try. this point, we welcome you all to tour the facility. We have punch and champagne and cookies in here. Please take the elevator up to check out the entire addition and follow the path around the campus to see all the great landscaping and new parking and all the new features that we have to share with you. And thank you for being with us.
Thank you.